Welcome to the Study Skills video series. This introductory part is for the teacher or parent who is concerned about their child or learner's academic performance. I think that the videos in themselves will be highly beneficial, but please download them, the worksheets and the workbooks, so that the child can have the full benefit and I can continue making videos like this. Thank you.
Good morning, guys. It is me, Uncle Jack. We are still busy with the study skills program, and we are now into session number 23. And I believe we've already looked at 4 memory techniques, and now we're going to look at the 5th memory techniques, and I've called this one Hook to Remember. And this is what I want you to learn in this session. I want you to be able to link new information to existing knowledge so that you can remember better, to improve your recall. But I want you to make use of standard hooks in order to create this link. Okay, now what do I mean by standard hooks? I am going to show you just now. But let us just have a look at how your memory works again, just for a recap sake. We remember deeply embedded knowledge with ease. So if never forget your parents or your friends' names or faces. It's embedded, and so it's always easier to remember new information when you can link that new information to concepts that are already familiar to you. So the memory technique we're going to use in this session is the hook system. It is a technique to create memory links, and we are going to use standardized hooks to help us associate information with known concepts. Now, something that is very standard to you are the first 10 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Or if you want to replace the 10 with a 0, then you can start with a 0 and say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But in any case, there are 10 different symbols that we use. And these symbols that we use from 0 to 9 or from 1 to 10 are all very familiar to you. And so it makes sense for us to develop standardized hooks in line with the number. And so the first hook type we are going to look at is the number shape hook type. And here we are going to link each number to a shape. So there I've given you on this slide a 1, a 2, and a 3. And the 1 looks like a candle. The 2 looks like a swan. And the 3 looks like the wing of a butterfly. Now you can continue with this list. I didn't do it for you on the slide. A 4 looks like a sailboat. A 5 could look like a snake. A 6 could look like a golf club. And so you can continue. But don't limit yourself to the things that I've said now. Find shapes that you can associate with the number. So how do we use this? Say you have a shopping list, and number 2 on your shopping list is milk. Now you are then, for always, if you're going to use this number shape hook, you are going to hook the second item on any list to your swan. So milk is a second item on my shopping list. So I imagine a swan swimming in milk. My milk came out more blue than white, but it was supposed to be the blue swan swimming in the white milk. And ideally, because remember, you are using visualization in combination with these, if you ever think of number 1 on the list, it will be a 1 that looks exactly like that little candle. If you think of a 2, it will be something that looks exactly like this little swan of ours, or the 3 like the butterfly. So you are standardizing your numbers so that you can link list and numbers on the list, new information, to your standardized numbers. The second type of hook that we can look at is the number sound hook, where we link each number to a sound. So now instead of thinking of a shape, now we are going to think of a sound. So 2 sounds like shoe. So if a bread knife is the second item on my shopping list, I'm going to link it to the standardized shoe that I have. And so I can imagine cutting a shoe with the bread knife. Okay. So it can either look like the shape, or it can look like the number, sorry, or it can sound like the number. That's the difference between the number shape system and the number sound system. Hook type 3 is the room system. Now, you might have heard about this before. Some people call it the Roman room system. Some people call it the royal room system. I'm just assuming that none of you have ever been in a palace, or very few of you, and you've never been to Rome. I've never been to Rome. And if that's the case, then a Roman room and a royal room is not going to be very helpful to you. And so if you want to call it a specific room, you can call it my room system. And this is where you link information to objects in your own room. And you can link shopping lists to objects that you might see from a certain vantage point when you enter the door or when you lie on your bed. And so now, if I have a 3-item shopping list, mom has sent you to the shops to buy bread, milk, and spaghetti, then you, in your mind's eye, when you get there, you can't remember what it is, you stand to the entrance of your room at the door, and you see, there is the bread lying on the bed, the milk is on the chair, and the spaghetti is hanging from the roof. Something else can be on your desk, something else can be on your computer. It doesn't matter. You have standardized these things based on what's familiar to you. And in this case, what is familiar to you is your room. So here are the steps in the case of the number shape system. You're going to visualize a hook. Then you are going to visualize an item on the hook, somehow linked to the hook. And then you are going to write items in order after hearing the list. So that is the idea, that your parent read you a list. It's a list that they can come up with, not you, because that will be unfair. The list that your parent will come up with, they're going to read you the 10 items on the list, um, initially maybe a second time, just to help you practice this, and then later on just once. And like everything else, you are practicing it. So now you have your standard shapes there, and you are just hooking whatever is on the shopping list to this. And then later on, when you become familiar, uh, um, when you become when you are at ease with doing it for a shopping list, then you can apply the same system to your actual schoolwork. And everything is numbered. So now, instead of writing a 1, you will actually write the little 1 so it looks like a candle. Instead of just doing the 2, you will write the 2 like the swan. Instead of doing the 3, you will draw the wing of a butterfly. Okay. And then every time you hear something that is a list, you use that standardized list. Okay. Then activity number 28 is the number sound. And the way you're going to do this, you're going to use the sound-based hook. Instead, you're going to repeat the same steps as in the previous activity. Once again, your parent is going to read you a list, hopefully a different list this time. And then you are going to link 1 to a button, 2 to a shoe, 3 to a tree, 4 to a door, 5 to a hive. And you will quickly find out whether you prefer the number shape system or the number sound system. Now, from the ease that I was able to do the number sound system and the difficulty I had with the number shape system, you can easily see that for me, the number sound system works a little better. And here's the insight. If you prefer activity 27, which is the number shape system, then you are most likely a visual learner. And if you prefer the number sound system, then you are more likely an auditory learner. But I don't want to pigeonhole you guys. This is why I'm teaching you all the memory techniques. Some will be applicable to you, some you will find easy to use, some you will say, I'm never ever going to use that in my life. That is perfectly fine. Remember what I'm saying as we're doing the memory techniques. I want you to discover a memory techniques that works best for you. Thank you, guys. Practice, study smart and not hard. This is Uncle Jack, and I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you for watching the entire video. Remember, study smart, not hard, and ask your parent or teacher to download the worksheet.